Hi everybody. This time I just wish you a pleasant viewing. Let's go. The rodent was sleeping peacefully while a purple portal was opening near him. When it was fully formed, my master and I came out of the portal right away. I quickly looked around and determined. It's underground. How did the rat get here? I decided to ask. The next moment, I saw my subject, who did not even jump from our appearance. He continued to sleep so peacefully that even a huge snot was puffing out of his nose. As I got closer, I immediately shouted, "Wake up already." After that, when I realized that he hadn't woken up, his snot burst. As soon as the rodent started to wake up, I immediately said, "Why are you sleeping here?" Ignoring my question, the rodent just got up and was surprised by my appearance. "Boss, you're already back." After that, I already decided to answer my question. "Didn't you say to wait here?" I realized that I couldn't get more information out of him about this and decided to ask another one. "Past. Where are the others?" The rodent led me through the cave a little further until we saw the ants. "Boss, here's the thing. When you left, one of your men came out to command us. The insects that were in front of us are sawtooth ants mollusks. Level 7 magical beasts with acid vision abilities. Raven and I thought that you had appointed the chief during your absence." The mouse said, and while we were walking past the ants, I said. "When I left, my ants were still weak. How did they develop so quickly?" At this time, another question popped into my head. Are these worker ants? Why are there so many worker ants here? The rodent walked further along the cave and fell a little behind me, then turned around and shouted, "Boss. Here." We entered a huge room that was definitely like an anthill. A bunch of huge holes in the walls, like apartments, were located everywhere. The same water from the pool flowed around, through which the bones were laid, instead of bridges. "So what? Now do you see how the work is boiling?" the mouse asked. Walking through this area, we saw how these holes are created for life. This was done by other rodents, who quickly pulled them out with their clawed paws. "Wow. How did you manage to do all this in such a short time?" I asked my subordinate. "My rats were only responsible for the holes, I don't know the rest, I was asleep." Continuing to walk, we went down the steps and many birds flew past us, on the backs of which sat small ants. It turned out that the worker ants were returned by crows. I was surprised. After some more time, we came to a place where there were other magical beasts that surprised me. Among them was a white ant, who, as it turns out, commanded everyone here, which is what my subordinate told me. Also, one of these beasts was an ant with metal armor on its body. A beast of the ant rider class, evolved from a bodyguard ant, the beast has a strong armor. The second animal was a shadow rat. It is a level 1 beast that can hide in the shadows and is extremely deadly at night. His fur was blue, and his ears were long and stood like pods. Well, accordingly, the third beast, the same white ant, which turned out to be an ant priest. The first magical beast of the second level with an intelligence not inferior to human. A rare magical beast with a very low birth rate. She was giving orders to the other two. The southern side of the cave is used as a shelter and is completed for the night, and food is collected and distributed, if possible, from the surrounding area. She was talking. Suddenly, her conversation was interrupted by the bow of the armored ant and the blue rat, which made the white ant surprised. "Hey. What are you doing?" After which, she turned around and directly inflamed with love, saying, "The Ant King is back. The King of Ants is a rat. Greetings to you." While she was talking, she was losing consciousness at the same time. Suddenly her legs gave way and she began to fall. I quickly picked her up and like a knight on a white horse asked, "Are you okay?" hugging her with his paw. "I remember you. You're that little worker ant. Are you in charge here now?" I asked, after which, the girl realized what had happened and panicked. "Please forgive me for commanding without permission." But I decided to support her by putting her on her feet and saying, "Well done. That's what I want from you." She was a little embarrassed, but said, "Oh. I tried." The next moment, a picture appeared in my head of us standing in military uniform, against a background of the sun, and I enthusiastically began to talk. "You have done a great job, and for the future implementation of great plans, such talents as you are needed. From now on, you will be my secretary. If you have any ideas, tell me right away." Then, the rest of the magical beasts began to notice me, including my subordinate Raven. "Boss. You're back." he croaked. "Yes. You did well." I supported everyone, and a ball appeared to my eye, which rolled past us, leaving fire behind it, and also its antennae were burning with fire. This was my very first friend I met when I came into this world. Zheng Meng. Roll over here. I shouted and he started repeating his name continuously. Now he is a newborn magical beast of a class never seen before, with unknown potential. As soon as Zheng rolled up to us, I told the girl next to me. Let Zheng Meng carry you for now. I offered it to her, realizing that she was unable to stand on her feet, after which she thanked me. As soon as she climbed on top of Zheng, she said. Lord Ant King. Yes? What is it? I asked. Now the nest needs to be prepared separately. I'm not sure I can do it, it depends on you. She immediately gave me a responsible job and I started thinking. Yes. I need to think about it. Why don't we all build it together? I suggested it and all my subordinates exclaimed. Together? As soon as everyone understood what I meant, we all sat down in a circle to discuss everything, and I began my speech. Good. Then it's decided. The crow and the rat solved the issues on their own. An armored ant and a blue rat are looking for and choosing 2 teams of helper ants to ensure the safety of the nest. As for internal affairs, my secretary will take care of it, and everyone must obey her orders. Now, my secretary will give the first orders on internal affairs. As soon as I finished, the white ant stood up and began her speech. Yes, Your Majesty. As for internal affairs, I want to say something. The nest has just been built. It has not yet completed the construction of several rooms, which creates many problems. The biggest of them is food. The food that we have put aside and the products that we can get from surrogate mothers will only last us for 3 days. When I heard that, I immediately started thinking. Damn, that's right, and I didn't notice such a serious problem. Then I heard the following words of my secretary. In fact, this problem will be solved by our king. Sir, that's the only reason you went to live in the human world, right? Suddenly I was surprised, not realizing that she was talking about me, but deciding not to fall into the dirt, I immediately said. Of course, it's decided. I'll bring us a lot of food tomorrow. The white ant immediately blushed and admired. Hooray. This is my boss, reliable and brave. You really are our king. After that, I propped my head on my hands and began to reason out loud. Buying food from people is a good idea, but if we do this for a long time, it will certainly be noticed by people, which can create problems. My secretary agreed with me. Your Majesty. I've already thought about it. To solve this problem in another way, we need to dig a passage outside the city. Then we can get food on our own. I think the Rat King can handle it. She pointed to my subordinate and he immediately began to respond. Outside the city. It's going to be a long walk. Boss. This can take a long time. Are you letting me start working on this project? I immediately started responding. Are you afraid? You don't need to do this right now, but in the future, if you realize that you don't have enough manpower, you can assemble a team of workers. After that, I started thinking about this plan. This path must be very confusing, one might say a maze. If our base is discovered by humans in the future, then this passage will be the only way to escape. The next moment I got to my feet, about to leave, but before that I decided to ask. Alright. Since everything is settled, I have to go back, otherwise people may notice my disappearance. I'll be back tomorrow and I can buy gifts and necessary things for you. Do you have any needs? I asked 2 of my subordinates, namely the Raven and the Mouse. Raven started first. Boss. I want a magic stone that could shine in the human world. Then I said Grizz. Boss. I want fried chicken, fried duck, fried chicken knives, chicken, foie gras and. Without ceasing to talk about food, the rodent continued until it was killed by a raven. Shut up and go to hell. You are the biggest enemy for birds. The raven exclaimed and hit the mouse on the ass. Hey. Damn. The stinking crow. Why are you hitting me? I ignored the 2 of them and turned to the others. How about you guys? What do you want? The armored ant asked for meat. The blue rat asked for large pieces of meat. And my first friend in this world was just repeating the word Meng. I was confused by such answers. Why do you all want meat? Don't you have any more desires? I asked and heard my secretary address me. What do you want? It's okay, you can just ask. My king, I have no name. I would like you to give it to me. I was a little embarrassed by this. Name? Don't you want something more useful? Like meat or something else? But despite my questions, she just asked again. No, Ant King. I just want my name. I immediately thought about it. Give her a name? So, well, she looks white and smart. I can call her Snow White. I started speaking out loud. Okay, then I'll call you. But I was immediately stopped by my thoughts. No. She's so smart. I can't give her a random name that first came to mind. But suddenly, a great name popped into my head. Snow Smart. How about this? The girl immediately admired. Yes. I like my king. Then I opened the portal from the book again and said. Okay, I'm leaving. All bye. And while I was entering the portal, the rodent threw after me. Boss. Be careful and don't forget about my request. The next moment I was already disappearing into the portal, and at this time my secretary looked like a schoolgirl in love, thinking. Smart Snow. I have a name now, too, just like the Ant King. The rodent asked the raven when I had already left. Raven. Has she become a maniac? You don't understand anything. This is what we call first love. Stupid. The next moment, I was already out of the portal in the Yutong house and immediately looked around. Fortunately, no one noticed me, and I hurried to check what the maid was doing. Looking out from around the corner, I saw a blonde who was setting the table and thought. Ha. It looks like she didn't realize that I hadn't been missing for a while. I thought and decided to go into the kitchen, muttering to myself. If I was discovered, I really don't know how I would explain everything. Suddenly, Yuden was behind me. She came closer to me and asked. What do you think? Ling Fei is very pretty, isn't she? I, without even realizing what had happened, immediately began to answer what I really think. Yes. Ling Fei is very pretty and she is a maid, and most importantly, she has big tits. Good taste. A girl with red hair suddenly spoke. But as soon as I realized what I said and to whom, I immediately panicked. Yuden. Haha. You're very pretty too. You have very pretty hair, and also, and. I stuttered, not knowing what to come up with, but was interrupted. Keep lying to me. I was looking for you upstairs while you were here and spying on your sister. If I'm pretty, why didn't you peek at me? She said these words calmly, but then it was as if a demon possessed her, and she attacked me with a scream. Damn it. I think you're always lying to me. Wait, don't kill me. I was wrong. The next moment, we were already sitting at the table and eating the food prepared by Ling Fei, but my body still hurt from the blows of Yutong, and I could barely hold back tears. Lin Fei saw our exchange and my condition now, so she decided to ask. Yuden. Don't you think you were a little harsh? To which the girl with red hair confidently stated. He lied to me. If I don't teach him a lesson, he won't learn anything. It even seems to me that I am not cruel enough with him. While Yuden was saying such evil words, the blonde came up to me and started scratching my head, saying. If Yutong hits you again, just come to me and she won't dare hit you again. Wu looked at Ling Fei hopefully and answered briefly. Okay. Suddenly, Yuden's friend, whom we all know, came into the kitchen and asked. Yuden, are you there? To which the red-haired girl was surprised. Lily. Why are you here? I thought today it was my turn to come to you and have fun. Hearing the question, Lily answered. I was on my way to the market and decided to stop by your place on the way. Yuden, hearing the answer, immediately began to get up from her seat. The market? I want to go with you too. I heard that there are a lot of new stores on the market. Yuden answered, walking towards her friend. I also, after hearing their conversation, became a little interested in it. After all, I promised gifts to my subordinates. Yuden walked up to Lily, and the second one started taking something out of her bag. Here you go. This is a potion for Kayakyu, I finally made it. Yuden took the bottle in her hands and thanked her friend, after which she decided to go back to the table. Lily, wait a minute. I'll finish my meal quickly and go straight to the market with you. Having said that, she turned her attention to the table and was surprised. Hey. Where's my steak? She asked and looked at me suspiciously. Zheng Lan. Can you tell me where my steak is from the plate? When I heard her question, I didn't pay attention to her, but just continued to wipe my mouth with a napkin, saying. I ate it, it was very tasty. Yuden immediately started hitting on me. Not only did you eat my steak, you even admitted it and you don't feel guilty. My face didn't even change and I just answered. Can you hit someone who saved you, but you won't let them eat your steak? Alas. I thought living in your house would be better than camping on the street. I didn't think you were really like that. Since you want it so badly. I'll just buy you another steak. After that, I quickly blew up from my seat and ran to the blonde. Lin Fei. Your food is so delicious that I couldn't resist eating a portion of Yutong. This was my insidious plan, and while Ling Fei began to address Yutong, I hid behind the blonde's back. Yuden. Wait a minute. I'll make you some more. Lin Fei offered, but Yutong was offended. No, thanks. I'll buy myself something to eat at the market. The market? I wondered. Does she mean the mall? I was thinking while Yuden went towards Lily. Good. I was wrong to get angry and beat you up. Yuden spoke from under her forehead, and Lily decided to ask who I was, but the girl with red hair ignored her. Lily, come on. She told me, and I was thinking. Interesting. I need to follow them and check everything. As soon as Yuden and Lily went out into the corridor, I looked around the corner, and Lily's bird immediately noticed me. Pretty boy. Do you want to talk about me? She asked. Yellow bird. What a beautiful bird. Yes. Yes. You, come to me. The bird, hearing my words, immediately slowed down and landed on the ground next to me. You have pretty good taste. You can appreciate my charm. She told me. Yes, yes, of course. I never lose sight of beauty. I squatted down to speak more quietly and the bird heard me. In fact, when I first saw you, I immediately realized that you are not so simple. When you fly, I see contempt for the rules of heaven and earth. Really? The bird was surprised. Be sure. I won't lie to you about such things. The bird immediately hugged me and started crying. Only you could notice something special about me. You seem to have lived here for quite a long time. It seems to me that you know everything in the neighborhood. I said, and the bird, starting to wipe her tears, said. Yes, I've been to all the places nearby. Excellent. Then, probably, you know where the market is located? He asked and the bird, thrusting his chest forward, said. Of course I know. My hostess Lily and her friend are just going there. We continued our dialogue with this bird, and I asked her. Can you take me there? The bird made the most imperturbable face and said. Sure. No problems. Then she paid attention to my wounds and continued. But before that, let me heal your wounds first. It surprised me. Do you know healing magic? I asked, and at that time the bird brought its wings together and a blue aura lit up between them, after which the bird said. Sure. Healing magic is my middle name. And as soon as he finished saying that, a blue glow emanating from his wings headed towards me. At one point, all the cuts and abrasions that were on my head began to overgrow, and it became easier for me. Wow. Great. I feel better. I exclaimed, and the bird proudly declared. Haha. This is a low-level healing magic that can only heal minor injuries. Then the bird turned to me with its booty and flew to the exit. You wanted to go to the market, right? Then move, quickly. I was interested in the magic of this chick. Low-level magic, but it has such an amazing effect. Amazing. I said. Literally in a few tens of minutes, we were already on the huge market square. A huge number of people walked here and there. Someone was buying fruits or vegetables, someone was buying livestock for a home farm. In general, life was boiling and I and the bird were among all this crowd. In order not to stand out too much, I put on my old raincoat and put on a hood, so people won't pay attention to me. After all, who knows what can happen if everyone sees a huge ant in the middle of the market. Suddenly, a bird sat on a pedestal on the fence and pointed its wing forward. It turns out before that, we were not in the main part of the market. Here, look. The bird said and continued. I can't fly any further, so go shopping by yourself. I immediately began to think out a plan. So, well, I'm at the market, here I can buy gifts for my subordinates, but how do I do it? Suddenly I started talking louder, addressing nowhere, which surprised the bird. Master. Master. Do you hear me? The next moment, the old man got out of the crystal and declared. Do you need something from me again, my disciple? The master asked, and at that time the bird was ready to go to another world, from what he saw. While the bird was fainting, I asked the old man. Master. Do you also know how you can buy a lot of food at one time? The old man, as someone who knows everything in this world, calmly began to talk. Oh. It's easy to handle. You can just go to any store and contact the seller of products. But there is one but. The items I left you. These are items from 700 years ago, so first you need to contact an antique dealer. I was a little surprised and decided to ask. An antique dealer? Master? They gave me so many things, and it turns out to be such an expensive product. I immediately began to turn my head in search of an antique shop, but the master helped me in this, pointing out the direction. Together with the bird, we approached the store, which was called the Ancient Chamber of Commerce. This is what I need. I looked at the open door of the antique shop and wondered. If I walk in just like that, won't it raise questions? And immediately after the question, my master got out from behind the cloak and said. You still have me, your master. As soon as you get inside, Cover your face and don't open your mouth. I'll do the talking myself. You just need to come in and listen to me." I did as my master said. Going inside, I immediately noticed a closet with a huge number of interesting things. In addition to him, a green-haired girl was cleaning inside, and an elegant man was sitting at the table and writing something. The girl immediately noticed me and turned to me. "Good afternoon, did you want something?" I, covering my face, or rather my muzzle and lowering it a little, pretended that I was talking, but my master was actually talking. "Hello, I have not come to buy, I would like to sell a few things." The girl immediately decided to clarify some points. "Sell things? We only deal in treasures and antiques." But the master decided to confirm her words. "Exactly. All the things I brought are antiques. Moreover, this is a very expensive antique." Then the antique dealer himself decided to take the floor, and looking closer to him, I realized that this is not an elegant man, but more of an alcoholic, but that's not the point. You're so naive, but it's still interesting to look at what you call very expensive antiques." This man spoke, and at this time my master turned to me. "Don't worry. All my antiques are really very expensive.